So many differences between Japan and Europe. On the left-hand side, Europe. The right-hand side, Japan. So Europe is a continent, a melting pot of people, but also full of conflict. That was basically based on the previous slides. So many conflicts, so many people that have been moving away, even moving between countries, like a lot of countries that we have today, like the French people originally did not come from the area of France. Their original inhabitants were more from Prussian area, the Franks. But throughout history, people have been on the move and have been constantly interacting with each other, constantly also fighting with each other, collaborating with each other. So it's very much an interactive culture where interests and peoples and tribes have been in conflict with each other. That conflict also that contributed to the development of military power, because there was constant friction between people. They actually had to arm themselves, had to develop skills in order to become stronger military, and that later on became very important when it came to colonializing other countries. On the other hand, there's Japan, which is an island of stability, longest reigning imperial family in the world. So stability is key. It's more of a connecting, peaceful coexistence. Of course, there were conflicts of interest, but if they were there, they were mainly within Japan, within the social cohesion of the country. So that is a very big source of difference, I think, between Japan and Europe. The second point: God is the way, but I am the center, and we receive forgiveness from God. So the Confucianism is the way in Japan. Basically, this is not so much a philosophy in the Western term of a philosophy, asking the why, but more the how question. So how do I get to heaven? Basically, that's the question that Europeans ask themselves. How do I get to heaven? How do I become a gentleman? That's a Confucian way. That is the basically an instruction. The Ten Commandments are typical instructions on how to get to heaven. So basically, follow the way, and you will get to heaven. That's for Europeans. That is a way. But I am the center. Versus contribute to the group. The group is the center. It's bigger than myself. Versus I am I'm in the center. I'm in the center. A little bit depending on which religion you follow, but especially under Protestantism, people are fallible. People are not good by themselves. They're intrinsically bad. And only God can absolve us. So basically, through this construct of religion, by providing the way, by basically telling people that they are bad and that God is the only one who can help them, the church managed to develop themselves a unique position. And they managed to actually control more than 50% of the wealth in Europe, in direct conflicting interest with royal families everywhere. The role of religion is still strong, not so strong anymore. But religion has basically has shaped us as people. Philosophy and religion have coexisted, and they are kind of in opposite with each other, even though there are also a lot of philosophers who try to justify the existence of God, and try to philosophize God to create a philosophy that would basically prove that God existed. I think, therefore, René Descartes actually basically he used that as a stepping stone to reason that God existed. He was widely criticized for his reasoning because it had some logical flaws, but religion plays a very important role. So basically, that is a thing that we have in common with Japan. That there is, I believe that the philosophy that came from China into Japan that focuses on the way that plays almost as an important role as a religion in Europe. But there is another very important role, that is the individual, which is in the center and which has is very actively asking the why question. This you cannot find in Confucianism. Maybe in Nishida. Would be a philosopher who actually is a philosopher in the Western tradition, but I don't believe that they played as an important role in Japanese culture as they did in Western culture. The pure value that we put on analytical thinking, truth finding, is much stronger in European tradition than it is in Japan. That has basically translated into a linear active thinking, logical thinking. If A, then B, therefore C, which in Japan is more of a holistic approach, and which is not really consistent with Western philosophy.
Right.
Can we go back to the slides or something? We cannot. No. Right.